Hello everyone, Serenity here. I want to welcome you back to Down Home Crypto. Now in this episode of Zero to Hero, we're going to cover pretty much the last piece we need to know before we start diving into cryptocurrencies and buying it for ourselves. Now, if you're just tuning in and you haven't seen the previous ones, I'll put a link in the description up above here. So click on that, that'll take you back to the first episode, which is what is a blockchain. But this episode, we're going to talk about gas fees. Because one thing that's going to happen on anything we interact with is we have to pay a gas fee. So what is that? How is it calculated? And how does it work? Stay tuned and we're definitely going to share all that information here. But if you would, do me a huge favor. If you're finding this information helpful or entertaining, go out and tell a friend, a family member, a coworker. Let them know they're not trapped in that dead-end job. There is a better way. And they don't have to be college educated or rich or tech savvy. They simply need desire to change their life and a courage to follow that dream. And they too can join us on this great crypto adventure. So without further ado, let's go understand all there is to know about gas fees. Now, even though it's called gas fee, there really is no gasoline in place. Essentially, it's a fee for performing a task on the blockchain. As you can see in this background here, all these rows of computers are performing different tasks. Now, that could be creating NFTs, buying NFTs, trading them, buying cryptocurrency, leverage trading, all kinds of things. All that is performed on the blockchain. Now, of course, those are run by computers, which are all automatic. But keep in mind, behind every computer has to be some type of programmer or developer building, growing, maintaining that system so that we can perform these tasks. So every time something occurs, a little fee is collected for doing that. Now, there's a lot of parts that go into deciding what that fee is. It's dependent on which blockchain is it running in. Is it being run on the Ethereum blockchain? Or maybe Avalanche, possibly Binance Chain? Each one of those are going to have a different fee associated just based on the blockchain itself. Then you've got what type of task is it performing? Is it buying a cryptocurrency? Is it switching over an NFT to a different wallet? Or are you minting a new NFT? All these are different tasks, and depending on the task you're performing will have an effect on what your gas fee is going to be. But the most important, the most critical part of a gas fee has to do with congestion of the network. What do I mean by that? Well, essentially it's this. Every blockchain has a limit, how many transactions it can do per second. So if you want to get to the front of that line, you can pay a higher gas fee to make sure that your transaction goes through before anybody else's. So let's go through an example real quick. And the first thing you have to understand is that gas fees are always charging the native token of that particular blockchain. So if you're running on the Ethereum blockchain, you're going to need ETH to pay the gas fee. The Binance blockchain, you're going to need BNB to pay the gas fee. In Avalanche blockchain, you're going to need AVAX. In the Polygon network, you're going to need Matic. Even if you're not interacting with these particular tokens, let's say you're buying an NFT using BUSD on the Binance Smart Chain, you still have to have BNB to pay that gas fee with. So just be aware that the native tokens are required anytime you operate on top of that blockchain. Now, as you get more experience, you'll start to realize that fees can vary drastically. And these are the top three things that really affect them. The first one is what blockchain are you using? As we know, if you're running on the Ethereum blockchain, it's the most expensive. And even when it's at its lowest, it can cost more to operate on the Ethereum blockchain than it does, say, on the AVAX blockchain during its more peak times. The second factor is going to be the congestion of the network. Now, this is a huge one. If you can wait a little bit for that transaction to go through and you want to pay a lower gas fee, sometimes doing it late at night or on the weekends or at off-peak hours will really help save you quite a bit of money on those gas fees. And the last one is about the type of transaction you're performing. If you're just sending one token from one wallet to another, that's a pretty low gas fee. But if you're going through and interacting with a dApp, say you're minting an NFT or buying a staked position in a certain protocol, each of those can have a higher gas fee than just a simple transfer can. Let's go through an example of what this could look like in a real-world environment. So the first thing we have to decide is, do we want to go to the Ethereum Opera or to a standard movie theater? Not feeling up for the opera, so we're going to go to standard theater today. But now the movie's complete. It was a great show, and it was just me and a couple of my friends. We come out of the theater, and we need a ride home. So we called to get a transaction to send us home. Well, we can go with a standard regular rate because there's only 3 of us, and we're not in a big hurry, so that's going to cost us about 15 cents. But maybe the movie went longer than expected, and we need to be home before curfew. So we've got to call for that fast ride, just so we can get home as fast as we possibly can. And that's going to set us back about 25 cents. So right off the bat there, you see you can choose between a fast transaction or a regular transaction. But now let's say we went and saw the premiere for Maverick on its opening night, and instead of just the three of us needing to ride home, now there's a whole mob of people trying to get home and trying to get those transactions through all at the same time. So the first thing we can do is we can pay extra for our gas fee to move to the front of that line and be the first pickup for the next ride that comes through. Once that ride does arrive, we can choose to go with the regular fee, which now being in front and congested is going to cost us $1.13. Or if we want to go with a fast ride, we can pay that congested fast rate of $1.97. So as you can see, there is a huge difference between whether a network is congested or not, if we're going with the slow or the fast ride, and which blockchain we're running on. So now that we have a good understanding, let's take this for a practical test drive. So right here on the Vertec DEX, we're going to trade $1 worth of BUSD, and we're going to buy Vertec tokens. But like we talked about, this is on the Binance Smart Chain, so we have to make sure we have BNB right here to pay that gas fee, because that's what's going to charge me it. So let's go through this process. We're going to buy $1 worth of BUSD for $1 worth of Vertex. When we hit swap, it's going to open our MetaMask, and it's going to say for this transaction, my estimated gas fee is about 18 cents, but it's charging it in BNB. So like I said, it's not terrible to do it. It's just something we have to be prepared for. So once you start interacting on these blockchains, always make sure you have at least a few dollars of that native token always within your wallet, because the worst thing you can do is transfer everything over and then suddenly have to go buy more gas fee just to be able to move your funds around. But let's take a look at one more quick example. Let's say we want to send that dollar worth of BUSD to another wallet. Let's see what that's going to cost us. So we go into our BUSD and we're going to send it to one of my other wallets. So we paste the address in and we tell it we want to send 1 BUSD. Now you can see that's going to cost us 12 cents. So it's actually cheaper to just send it than it is to actually exchange it. And then like we talked about, if you're doing an NFT or some other form, that can have a slightly higher gas fee. But all in all, these are pretty inexpensive fees. And on other blockchains, it can be much higher or much lower. It really depends on what you're doing as well as the time of day you're doing it. So always be aware of what's going on and keep an eye on this gas fee, and really ask yourself sometimes, do I have to have it right now, or can I wait till that gas fee gets down to a lower rate? Now I hope this information's been helpful. More importantly, I hope it's prepared you for the next step, which is we are going to start creating wallets and interacting on these blockchains, learning how to invest, and we're going to start diving in deep. So if you would, please do me a huge favor, take a moment, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell notification so alerted every time I upload a new video. So as always, I want to thank you for your time, and until next time, have a great night.